The Battle Royale genre has been the fastest growing genre of video games in the past few years, and two games in particular have found a way to stand out from the crowd: PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds and Fortnite. We're not picking sides as we love both games here at The Gamer, but Fortnite might just have the edge over PUBG. Before we begin, hit that subscribe button to stay up to date with The Gamer and ring that bell to become a part of our notification squad so you never miss a video. Without further ado, here are 6 things Fortnite can do that PUBG can't. Number 1. Appeal to the casual gamer. One of the things that make Fortnite so great is the fact that it's free to play. Anyone can just download the game and start playing, whether you're a PC, Xbox One, or PS4 gamer. Also, because it's free to play, it means the game is full of filthy casuals. The players that just aren't very good, to say the least, even if they're getting a bit better each and every game. Sure, there'll always be the hardcore players who absolutely destroy everything and everyone they come in contact with, but there are plenty of casual noobs you can easily eliminate to increase your kill totals. Fortnite is just good fun, even if you're not a great player. Just squad up with some friends and let the good times roll. PUBG, on the other hand, is not free to play. You'll have to dish out a whole $30 to get your hands on this game, which immediately makes it more competitive. Since they paid for it with their hard-earned cash, gamers will treat the game less like something casual and fun, and more like a competitive shooter like Call of Duty. Free to play is the way to go, my friends. Number 2. Pick up the pace. Fortnite is plain and simply a much faster-paced game than PUBG. The map is huge in Fortnite, but PUBG's is even bigger. PUBG's map is so big, the game has vehicles for players to travel quickly from one place to another. The closest thing Fortnite has to vehicles is, rocket riding and impulse grenades, which isn't a bad thing at all. It's actually a good thing. The smaller map means it's easier to track gunfire, the lack of vehicles means you're more exposed in the open, and the storm closing in quicker makes battles happen more frequently. In PUBG, you could spend 30 minutes looting and building up your arsenal only to die in the first fight. In Fortnite, games don't even last half an hour, and it's highly likely you'll engage with someone within the first 5 minutes, unless you're the type to lay down traps and camp all game. It's a viable strategy, but it's hard to respect. Fortnite is all about that action, boss. Number 3. An engaging loot system. Let's be honest here. The loot is so much better in Fortnite than in PUBG. For starters, you could find loot literally anywhere in Fortnite. Every house you enter will always have some kind of loot, whether it's bullets, weapons, or chests. Sometimes you'll find great loot lying around in the middle of nowhere, so you never know where you'll find that scar that wins you the game. To top it all off, the loot is color-coded and can be seen from afar, so we all have that little freak out when we see a purple or gold glow from a distance. It really sucks when it turns out to be a suppressed pistol, though. In PUBG, there's no consistent loot, and it's not color-coded. You could land in a military base, walk into multiple hangars, and come out with nothing but a helmet and some bullets. The consistency of the loot in Fortnite is why so many people land in tilted towers. You always start off with something, and if you manage to somehow get a few kills, you could already be set for the endgame. Never change, tilted towers. Never change. Number 4. Building. One of the most notable differences between Fortnite and PUBG is the ability to harvest materials and build cover. In Fortnite, nearly everything in the game can be harvested from materials like wood, stone, and metal that you'll need in the endgame. You can then use these materials to build cover if you're being shot at and to build a tower or base depending on the game mode you're playing. The ability to build also allows you to interact with the environment in a way that you can't in PUBG. You want to scale that mountain? Just build some stairs. You want to make a sky bridge to cross the river? Just lay down some flooring and hope you don't fall to your death. In PUBG, you can only use the pre-generated environment consisting of buildings and trees as natural cover in firefights. If you're caught out in the open in PUBG, you're as good as dead. But in Fortnite, you can quickly build a tower for protection, locate your enemy, and take them out with a quick snipe. Pro tip, a good Fortnite player knows when and how to build as quickly as possible. Number 5. Better replay value. PUBG could get a little stale after a while. Most engagements are the same game of cat and mouse every time. You know he's hiding in that room, but you don't know where he'll be once you open the door, so you decide to wait outside the room until he makes the first mistake. But he's corner camping, waiting for you to walk in and make the first mistake. It leads to a lot of stalemates and boring gameplay over time. In Fortnite, there are so many different ways a battle could go. If you're in the same situation and trying to one-up a corner camper, you can build stairs to get to the top of the building, break in through the roof, and sneak your way to get that shotgun elimination. You could set up traps, build structures, or just run in guns blazing and get rewarded for doing so. The multitude of possible engagement situations make Fortnite a game that you just can't put down no matter how hard you try. Number 6. Lighter mood. Fortnite is just a better-looking game than PUBG. The cartoonish graphics and settings set it apart from all of the other Battle Royale games that have come before it. It's not set in a post-apocalyptic world full of gray, dark gray, and black colors like every single Battle Royale game ever. The world of Fortnite is full of color, and it's as if they just dropped 100 people on an island to kill each other for the fun of it. Sure, there's some destroyed and plain-looking houses in Fortnite, but compare Tilted Towers or Pleasant Park to any of the locations you've seen in PUBG. They're just so much more inviting. Where PUBG is bleak and boring, Fortnite is colorful and lively. It's a showdown for the ages. In the blue corner, you have PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds, the scrappy early access darling, coming out swinging with 2 massive maps and a full release. In the red corner, Fortnite, an older game given a new lease on life with its free-to-play Battle Royale mode. These 2 massive games are about to duel to the death until only one remains. Our money's on PUBG, and here's why. First, be sure to subscribe to The Gamer and click that little bell to join our notification squad so you stay up to date with all of our great gaming content. Alright everyone, grab your frying pans and strap on your parachutes because it's time for 6 things PUBG can do that Fortnite can't. First person mode. If you're like us, the type of people who use VATS so much in Fallout that you forget you can still shoot even if you're not using it, you're not super comfortable with shooting in third person. It's visually busy, you have to strain just that little bit harder to focus on your target, and you don't have the ease of iron sights, you know, the way that guns actually work, to pick out your target and pull the trigger. Well, PUBG's got you covered. Unlike Fortnite, which locks you into the same third-person camera angle for the entire game, PUBG gives you the option to switch into first-person and even offers first-person-only servers for players who prefer that up-close and personal shooter feel. Even if you're a fan of the third-person perspective, it's nice of PUBG to at least give you the option. Better maps. Speaking of options, when it comes to maps, PUBG is Fortnite beat. The first of the game's maps, Erangel, carried the game through its meteoric rise to prominence during early access. This 64 square kilometer, vaguely Eastern European island has plenty of villages, bunkers, and abandoned radar stations for players to explore and fight over. That alone gives PUBG more replay value in exploration than the comparatively small map in Fortnite. And then, in December of 2017, Miramar dropped. The first of PUBG's expansion maps, Miramar is just as large as Erangel, with about 20% more landmass, but both more mountainous and more urban, changing up the tactics players need to employ. And PUBG isn't done. Rumors are swirling around 2 new maps. The first, a 4km by 4km jungle island map, was revealed at GDC in March of 2017 and is expected to drop at some point within the next year. At only a quarter of the size of Erangel and Miramar, this new map will bring some of Fortnite's intensity to the more strategic pace of PUBG. At any rate, it's good to see that not only is PUBG already more varied and detailed than Fortnite, they're already planning on giving us more environments to fight to the very bitter end in. Better pacing. Just because every round of PUBG ends in a tense, bitter firefight for that sweet, sweet chicken dinner doesn't mean the game has to be a non-stop gun battle from beginning to end. Both of PUBG's current maps are large enough that you can go for much of the game without encountering another player. And that's amazing! Playing PUBG isolated can be just as fun as landing in the middle of a frantic rush for weapons. Because when fights occur, they're over fairly quickly. There's an immediate tension when you're trudging through a field in Erangel and suddenly spot movement on the horizon. There are few gaming experiences we've had that have conjured up such a mix of excitement and fear as PUBG. Suddenly hearing another player in an approaching car is always startling. Speaking of which, guess what else Fortnite doesn't have? Vehicles. Are you stuck on the other end of the map with the edge of the play zone shrinking in on you? Do you need to cover a lot of ground quickly? Are you and your friends maybe just looking for a sweet way to make an entrance? Try Vehicles! With so many to choose from, ranging from dune buggies to sweet hippie vans, there's a vehicle for absolutely everyone. Go off-roading or take a nice road trip from Lipovka to Georgiapol. Never get caught outside the play area again. Anything is possible when you've got vehicles. Side effects may include running out of gas 50 feet from the play area, driving straight into an ambush, thinking that trying a drive-by is a way better idea than it actually is, and accidentally running over your squad mate. Seriously, don't be that guy. Weapon variety. When it comes to weapon variety, PUBG just plain and simply has Fortnite beat. Not only are PUBG's weapons not so neatly divided into just a better version of the gun you just picked up, but each weapon has their own niche. Unlike Fortnite's weapons, they can be upgraded and customized to your heart's content. This not only makes the weapons you pick up unique, it also rewards exploration. Again, part of this is a pacing problem with Fortnite. Each game is here and gone so quickly that you never really have the time to invest in that round before it's over in victory or more likely defeat. PUBG teases you, gives you toys to play with and says, "Hey, you got a shot this time, look at you, you're armed to the teeth." It's an exciting feeling that lasts right until you die just a few seconds from victory. Nothing in Fortnite has that same resonance or weight because it's paced more like an arcade game than a real struggle for survival. Purpose-built design. If you really boil it down, there's a common thread to all of these reasons why PUBG is better than Fortnite, and you can find it in the history of both games. PUBG was conceived as a battle royale game from the very beginning, and everything that PlayerUnknown and his team have done has been with that in mind. Everything from the map design to the weapons to even the method of parachuting into the battle zone at the start of the match was created from scratch to be exactly what PUBG is: a tense, cutthroat deathmatch in a giant arena. Fortnite, by contrast, started off with a PvE mode that is currently behind a paywall, not the Battle Royale mode that has put it in the conversation alongside PUBG. This has consequences for design, even though, to their credit, Epic has put a lot more effort into the Battle Royale mode in recent months. Rather than try and be two things and occasionally struggle with standing out at being either, PUBG knows the game it wants to be and puts all of its efforts into being exactly that. When the chips are down, that makes all the difference in the world. Whew, so there you have it. That was 6 things PUBG can do that Fortnite can't. Maybe you think everything we said was total garbage.
Take a look at any pro Fortnite gamer on Twitch or YouTube, and you know the game takes skill. Some of these players are so far ahead of the competition that it doesn't even seem fair. But just like any other video game, there's always a bit of luck involved. Sometimes it's a coin flip whether you get a 1 in a million victory royale or end up dying in an embarrassing way. And we're about to show you these extreme cases. Before we dive in, make sure to like the video, subscribe to The Gamer, and hit that bell to be part of our notification squad so you can be the first to see our new videos. Now let's check out the Fortnite gamers that got lucky, and the gamers that got the short end of the stick. Lucky, race against time. Now this one is super relatable. If you play Fortnite regularly, I'm sure you've fallen from a huge distance, either by accident or because an enemy shot down your fort. It happens a lot, and even the expert gamers have to deal with it from time to time. And another way to die without noticing until it's too late is to get caught up in the storm. Maybe you spent just a little too long looking for loot, or even got tangled up in an epic battle that lasted too close for comfort. Next thing you know, the edge of the storm is right on your tail, and you've got to run and take advantage of builds. So what if both of these impending deaths were coming for you? Well, that's exactly what happened to Redditor Kiwi. He said his butt had never clenched so hard, and that's gotta be the perfect description of this escape. He runs up a pre-built ramp that seems to go on forever, and about halfway up, what happens? The ramp gets shot out from under him. As it starts to explode his direction, all he can do is keep running. The storm closes in, the ramp gets closer to dropping him to his doom, and then just at the very last, absolutely final second, he hits the jump pad and glides to safety. Wow, just a half second slower and he'd be eliminated. Unlucky, shopping cart's revenge. Okay, if the last entry was relatable and nerve-wracking, this one is hilarious and 1 in a million. Shopping carts in Fortnite have definitely been up and down. First, Epic introduces them, and they're pretty popular. Then they bug out and cause glitch after glitch in game, so Epic removes them. And then they come back, only to get overshadowed by the ATK. So with all this back and forth, we think it got overlooked that the shopping carts became self-aware. Hey, hear us out here. Reddit user NewmanY would probably agree. The player jumps up to the shopping cart racing Ridge and starts chopping down trees. Nothing out of the ordinary there, right? Well, little does he know that all that resource gathering has put into effect a horrible series of events. The cart didn't like getting nudged and is already plotting his revenge. NewmanY has moved on and is at the bottom of the ridge, looking for players to take out, when all of a sudden, the cart strikes. It slides down the hill and knocks him way down to the bottom, instantly killing him. That's a textbook definition of bad luck. Lucky ATK trick. Speaking of the ATK, here's an example of luck that you never expected. This combines not only the ATK, but also another new feature, the warps. Redditor Oisties is attempting to replicate a trick that they saw on Reddit and boost up the mountain. But things end up going a totally different way. The trick fails and sends them into the storm, but only for a second, because they shoot through an unexpected warp to who knows where. When everything finally becomes clear, Oisties is dropping from the sky and lands perfectly into the top of a building. It honestly looks like it was made to store the ATK. We're not totally sure what happened to the player after that, but we're just happy they got this crazy lucky event on tape. Unlucky, the modern roadrunner. This unlucky moment is a little bit different than the others on the list, because it didn't end up with an epic death or elimination, but it did have a healthy dose of embarrassment. Redditor Brotherly Moses captured this insane series of events perfectly. Epic introduced the spray paint feature previously, and a player took full advantage of it. They built 2 walls over the top of the underpass entrances outside of Tomato Town. Then, they spray painted the tunnel spray over the top, making it look like a more cartoon version of the old entrances. This alone would have been funny enough, but one unlucky player in an ATK drives straight into it. Yeah, somebody's pride was hurt that day. Fortnite is partially popular because of stunts just like this. The possibilities are almost endless, and as long as people like Brotherly Moses keep capturing them, we're sure to see tons more in the future. Lucky, the no-loot dancer. Have you ever been searching for what felt like an eternity for good loot and kept coming up with nothing? Or maybe you dropped to a high-traffic area and you're forced to camp out for a minute and all the good stuff is gone. What can you do? Well, for this clever and lucky player, a dance move did the trick. Redditor Secretly Loves Slugs comes upon an enemy in the middle of a firefight. They know if they run one way or the other that they'll be found. And they also have no weapons, so they had to improvise. They decide to start doing the Groove Jam dance. It goes on for a few seconds before they notice, and you just know that they were incredibly confused. The enemy turns around and tries to process what's happening. Why is somebody dancing at me when they have a clear kill shot? And then bam, their original enemy gets a shot off to the back of the head, and it's all over with, leaving a very, very lucky Secretly Loves Slugs to all kinds of dropped loot. The success rate of this kind of strategy has got to be extremely low, so if you're ever in a pinch, maybe try anything else first. That is, unless you're feeling lucky. Unlucky, Curse of the Scar. Has anybody else had this happen to you? You get the extremely lucky find and open a chest to get a legendary scar, and then things just go wrong afterwards. This happens so much to Fortnite gamers that some have even suggested there's a curse on the gold scar. I mean, when you find the best weapon in the game, things are supposed to improve, right? Well, for Reddit user Jigsaw 3D Puzzle, he quickly found out that good luck can turn immediately. First off, he finds the scar in a chest in the attic of a retail row house. So far so good, right? But then it drops down to a lower level. Jigsaw grabs the gun and immediately goes into the next room where, well, this happens. Yep, he gets eliminated by a spike trap just when things were looking up. Sorry, Jigsaw, that's just the case of bad luck. Kind of ironic that his name is Jigsaw though, huh? Lucky, Neo the Viking. Let's go back to emotes for a minute. Reddit user Mies demonstrated perfectly how an emote could give you a competitive advantage. That is, if you're incredibly lucky. Here they are on the edge of a fort, getting shot at, when for some reason they decided to do a flip. Specifically, the flippin' sexy emote. Magnus the Viking hops into the air, flips, and right as they're coming down, a bullet goes right where they would have been standing. The flippin' sexy emote only cost them 500 V-Bucks, so the player claims that it was the best 500 V-Bucks they've ever spent. Unlucky, welcome to Trapville. The constant new locations in Fortnite have been a welcome change, but no matter how many times you make a new spot to explore, you're still gonna have to deal with the same old traps. This unlucky moment is brought to us by Redditor named VUZIX. They have a brilliant plan once they hear some enemies hanging out in the desert diner. This plan seems like a slam dunk. He opens the door, plants a spike trap, fires off a shotgun blast, and he's that much closer to victory, right? Well, that would be the case if he didn't get so unlucky. Who would have thought that the players in the diner had almost the exact same plan? When VUZIX comes into the room to collect his bounty, it's death from above. Yet another spike trap set by the enemy in the same room. Lucky and unlucky, the great rescue. Okay, we saved the best for last here. Calling this an epic moment really doesn't do it justice. This is what happens when greatness and luck runs into the unluckiest guy on Fortnite. Literally runs into. Pointy Hat Man posted this video on Reddit and has the website going nuts. If you don't recognize his name, you might know him better as Muselk, a popular YouTuber. He said this footage was too good not to use, and he couldn't find a spot for it in his regular videos, so to Reddit it went. This is a lucky break for an already incredibly gifted player that just begs to be seen. He lands by a deep ledge and knocks off a player right away. That's when he sees an ATK and a small ramp at the bottom of the ledge. What else is that? Another enemy player abandoned at the bottom. This is where the rescue mission comes into play. The Redditor, Chappadoodle, is the player at the bottom, and he must have been going through a combination of both anxiety and elation. He couldn't get out, and yet some good Samaritan was rescuing him. Well, not so fast. After Pointy Hat Man builds almost to the very bottom, he decides to run all the way back up. But why, do you ask? Well, to take a crazy ride down his build in the ATK, of course. But don't worry, he breaks his fall with Chappadoodle. The odds of him not rolling off are so low, it's insane. And the chance of Chappadoodle getting knocked into elimination land by an ATK probably never entered his mind in a million years. Is Muselk the world's greatest troll? Or did he luck out into one of the funniest Fortnite moments ever? Why not both? All we know for sure is that poor Chappadoodle probably had a good cry after that one. And we don't blame him. We'd be right there with you, pal.
Online gaming has changed the world of trolling forever, and it's no different with Fortnite Battle Royale. With 100 players playing at once, you have to deal with noobs and streamers and experts, and worst of all, the trolls. Luckily, some gamers can spot a troll and found ways to put them in their place. Before we begin, subscribe to The Gamer and don't forget to ring that bell to become a part of our notification squad, where you'll be the first to know of new content. Without further ado, here are some of the worst Fortnite trolls who got what they deserved. Trolling a funeral. Epic Games loves communicating with their gamers, showing interest in streamers and building up a world of Fortnite fandom. One of their best examples of this came when a Fortnite rescue mission went horribly wrong. While Fortnite player Muselk was exploring Paradise Palms, he killed an opponent and took a golf cart to the edge of a cliff. There, he discovered another player was stranded with no way to build back up the hill. The attempted rescue went horribly wrong as the golf cart smashed into Chappadoodle and killed the player instantly. Once the clip started getting spread around, Epic Games took notice and decided to do something fun in honor of Muselk's rescue mission. On the same coastal area, Epic Games inserted a digital tombstone to honor Chappadoodle. Players decided to flock to the area for some in-game memorials, and this is where the crazy trolling began. A player by the name of the Derpy Troller decided to take a swing at the tombstone, and poof! Just like that, the memorial was gone. The non-violent truce was instantly broken as the Derpy Troller was bludgeoned to death. But the troll's elimination was just the beginning. An all-out war began on the coast with players attacking each other and turning the funeral into a bloody mess. We imagine the tombstone will be gone by the next update. Stream sniped. Watching a live stream of other Fortnite players comes with a number of advantages. Not only do you learn tips and tricks, but you may be fortunate enough to get on the same server as the streamer and see exactly what location they're playing at. Of course, streamers do have the option of using a stream mode to disguise usernames, but Dr. Disrespect chose not to do this while playing a round of Fortnite. Because of the revealing nature and how he plays, multiple players were able to follow him around, and one of them used a practice known as stream sniping. By watching his stream, the other player was able to attack and kill Dr. Disrespect on 2 separate occasions. As if stream sniping wasn't enough to knock his ego down a little bit, his username trolled the streamer even further. While Dr. Disrespect tried to cover it up the first time, after the second kill, you could clearly see he was being stream sniped by a player with the name Dr. Cheats on Wife. The name references Dr. Disrespect's 2017 admission of having an affair on his wife. He publicly came out with the news, took a couple of months off, and then returned to the streaming world. Unfortunately for the trolls, their attempt at an insult only results in more views for Dr. Disrespect and more earned money in the long run. Death stare for a troll. One of the easiest ways to troll in Fortnite is by trying to take out your partners. Using grenades and uncovering your partner's hiding position are 2 methods used for trolling, but using building hacks is another way to troll. Because large falls can create instant deaths, players like to build up high, let their partners follow, and then trap them by destroying the platform or editing it so the whole thing disappears. The building troll scenario is exactly what a player known as Jancy3 attempted on his partner during a game of duos. As the pair stood high on a platform, Jancy3 decided to troll his friend and remove the platform. Well, the whole thing backfired on Jancy3 as they were the first fall and quickly got knocked down. Just seconds later, their partner fell, but he was still standing. Instead of running off to continue the round, the player delivered the ultimate death stare to the partner who betrayed them. The stare lasts long enough to create plenty of humor and was a much better option than just yelling through a headset. Winning on impulse. During the end of a typical round in Fortnite, players love to build and build as the storm draws in closer. The timing of shots and the faster builds typically help players secure victories, but this was not always the case in the sniper shootout. In the sniper shootout, players could only kill using snipers, hunting rifles, and grenades. This made for some very interesting final one-on-one battles. Redditor Badmaster Chief decided to take the whole sniper out of the equation while going head-to-head. With a storm circle pretty much the size of a house, this led Badmaster Chief to start throwing out some impulse grenades and allowed the storm to do all the work. With each throw of the impulse grenade, his enemy would get launched backwards into the storm, taking away some of their health. By the time they would enter the eye of the storm, another grenade was thrown and they would get tossed right out again. A long fall for a troll. The classic version of a troll is supposed to live underneath a bridge. For so many trolls in Fortnite, they end up climbing over bridges and then falling to their deathly homes below. This is the case for a troll who decided to take out their own team in a 50 versus 50 battle. Redditor Stealth Ninja X noticed someone decided to take out his own team's bridge. Thankfully, other players were there to save the structure. Now, whether the player had a change of heart or were looking to kill others is a whole other story. But they simply wouldn't get the chance to sabotage their team again. As the troll made their way up the same ramp they tried to destroy just moments earlier, Stealth Ninja decided not to give the troll a second chance. He edited the stairs to get rid of the floor on one side and sent the troll falling to their death, where they were later eliminated from the game. Sometimes forgiveness is just not allowed for these trolls, maybe in the next round. Pretending to be ninja. There are a lot of popular Fortnite players on both YouTube and Twitch who love to stream their game to the masses. For every ninja or Preston plays, there are countless players attempting to act like they're the actual players. YouTuber Introlsive ran into one of these players during a round of duos in Fortnite. The dirty mouthed child was clearly not a day over 10 years old, but they claimed to be the YouTube and Twitch sensation known as Ninja. Clearly, they barely had the skills to be Ninja, and Introlsive took care of this situation with a little trolling of his own. The two went back and forth on the mic with an insult battle that wasn't more pleasant than a first grade playground tussle. Then, Introlsive decided to deal the ultimate damage by using a grenade and knocking the player down. Taking the troll back to a whole other level, Introlsive pretended to revive the player multiple times, only canceling at the last second. Several curse words later, and he truly claimed to be the real ninja, vowing his revenge. A revenge no one would ever see because he was just that terrible at the game. Admitting to trolling. If friendly fire was still in Fortnite, we'd be seeing a whole lot more trolls in the game, but thankfully, Epic Games removed the option. There's still the ability to launch your friends off a mountain, or use explosives to take out the floor from under them. Enter the impulse grenade. Upon explosion, the grenade sends a person flying in, often right into the enemy's lap. The grenade is an ideal way to throw an opponent off or clear out an area. For others, it helps create some epic trolling moments. Redditor GM Freak 1991 decided to use his impulse grenades to help mess with the troll while playing a round of duos. The player he was teamed up with was claiming to be a rookie, but after a quick search, GM Freak 1991 discovered he had won over 20 rounds of duos. Still, his partner wouldn't admit to this, and GM Freak 1991 decided to let the impulse grenade do the talking. GM Freak 1991 tossed grenades at his partner and sent him right into enemy fire. He pleaded with him to stop, but only if he admitted to his win streak. He finally did, and it turned out to be a happy ending. Both players won the round, and in a little bit of irony, it was another grenade which helped notch the victory. Boxing in a troll. We've already touched on this earlier, but some people just can't get enough of trolling their own partners by destroying large ramps and watching players fall to their death. One player who did get really creative was Redditor Hyphen. He decided to take on a 50 versus 50 troll with a brilliant plan. After witnessing the player, Hyphen teamed up with a friend and decided to put the player in their own version of a Fortnite jail. The jail was formed by building a 1-for-1 of wooden walls. Sure, it's easy to axe through the walls and escape, but not when Hyphen is standing guard and rebuilding any chance he gets. At one point, the player tries to obliterate them all with C4, but the explosion does very little damage. The whole thing was great to watch and is a fun idea to try against any trolls you may encounter in the future. Trolling Thanos. There are some pretty powerful weapons in the world of Fortnite Battle Royale, but one of the most powerful may have been when the Infinity Gauntlet was temporarily available. The powerful glove allowed players to transform into Thanos, and he was someone no one wanted to come across. Not only do you not want to go head-to-head against Thanos, but you really don't want to try and troll the Mad Titan. Unfortunately, Oskiss123 did this in a very humorous way. The laughs were certainly worth it, even though he died just seconds after the trolling. Knowing it would be extremely hard to take out Thanos, Oskiss123 turned to their inventory to pull out a boogie bomb. For those unfamiliar, the bomb makes anyone within its radius start dancing for a while without any control. In the ultimate trolling moment, Thanos can be seen dancing, and not even the Infinity Gauntlet could stop him from moving and grooving. Obviously, Thanos got his revenge after dancing, and he did so with a quick blast that absolutely destroyed Oskiss123.
You might not see them very often, but Fortnite Battle Royale cheaters are out there. It's actually illegal to hack the game, and some unlucky players have paid a huge price for it. Epic Games doesn't mess around, people. And if that wasn't enough, some streamers on Twitch and popular YouTubers have publicly shamed cheaters too. Did they get what they deserved? Before we dive in, make sure to like the video, subscribe to The Gamer, and hit that bell to be part of our notification squad so you can be the first to see our new videos. Now let's check out those Fortnite cheaters before they hack into this video. The show-off. Okay, we almost understand trying to slyly win a few extra games and then get some more kills by hacking a game. People have been doing it for years, and back in the day, kids used things like Game Genie and Game Shark, which attached directly to a game cartridge and modified and patched the code in real time. It gave you cheats like making you invulnerable or unlimited lives, stuff like that. It was fun, sure, but nobody ever thought they were a better player or bragged about it because it was unearned. But that was then and this is now. Nowadays, people are looking for online fame however they can. And that brings us to this YouTube user, Blues Cruise. In 2017, this Fortnite player posted a 17+ minute video of Battle Royale gameplay where he used hack after hack, cheat after cheat, and wasn't shy about it at all. Here's just a few of the hacks he used. Auto aim, which makes missing your target almost impossible. This is a slap in the face to any Fortnite pros who've dedicated thousands of hours to perfecting their aim. He also used a wall hack that showed him where everybody was on the map. Red parts meant that he was able to hit them directly and damage them, and green meant that he couldn't hurt them. And the final hack he used was a jump modifier, which catapulted him into the air like he just used a hop rocket or a launch pad. He may have went high up, but his likes on the video sure didn't. This post my hack plan ended up backfiring, and he got bombarded with dislikes. I guess any press is good press doesn't really apply this time, huh? The 14-year-old defendant. It's one thing to get caught cheating and get banned or suspended. These are pretty common penalties for screwing around with the video games when you shouldn't be. But apparently Epic Games sees it entirely differently, because they dropped the hammer on a 14-year-old boy who cheated. They said because he violated the terms of service that he had to pay. It's kind of a lot to deal with for a few extra kills, huh? The boy's mother sent a letter to the court trying to get the case dropped, explaining that the terms of service require a parental consent, which she never gave. This would mean that the entire thing was null and void. Epic Games was mainly thought to be pursuing this as a scare tactic to deter other players from cheating in the future. In October of 2017, thousands of players were banned from Fortnite for cheating, so they mean business. The mother of the child also says that her son didn't help create a cheating software, which is what Epic claims, but he just downloaded it as a user and got caught. Now, a lot of people would call this overkill. Imagine downloading a program to help you in-game, and it winds up putting you in a court battle, broadcasted around the world. You just know that the kid is never living that one down. What do you think? Did Epic go too far? Did the 14-year-old get what he deserved? The world record hack. Imagine this messed up scenario. You're a great Fortnite player, and you're making a living live streaming on Twitch. You're talking to your teammates, your followers, and generally just having an awesome time playing the game. When all of a sudden, in the corner at Shifty Shafts, you see something strange. A player just running full speed into the wall. Would you think that they're A, a disconnected player, B, the biggest noob of all time, or C, a hacker ready to strike? Well, if you guess C, you'd obviously be right. And you'd be just like the Twitch streamer Fizzy Sports Logger. He captured on camera this exact situation. And what happens next is enough to make you spit out your slurp juice. After he sees the player at the wall, he randomly dies without being shot at. Okay, maybe explained away by lag, but not likely. But after that, boom. One by one, every player in the game is eliminated. In total, there were 87 kills attributed to this guy. And to add insult to injury, the kills were apparently by vehicle. Maybe he was pushing an invisible shopping cart around the map at hyper speed and crushing everyone, like something Quicksilver would do in X-Men. Or maybe he's just another hacker caught on the big stage. And because Fizzy Sports Logger is a New Zealand streamer with thousands of views, he'll always be internationally known as a cheater. Take that for punishment. Underground Gunner. Glitches on the Fortnite map are nothing new. In fact, Epic has removed and re-added the shopping carts a few times for exactly this reason. Apparently, they were glitching so much, it would send people under the map and kill them with fall damage. It's like they took a trip to the Upside Down from Stranger Things. Not exactly what you want from a new fun vehicle, huh? Anyways, there are ways to get under the map in the game that 1, aren't glitches, and 2, don't immediately kill you. And because you're watching this video, you already know that those methods are sketchy cheats. Twitch player King Richard found this out the hard way when he died out of absolutely nowhere during one of his streams. Since there was no explanation, he decided to watch the player that killed him and see if he could figure out what just happened. What he saw was a player just chilling out under the main map, watching the world above him. And then after a while, he started blasting away with a shotgun. And swinging his axe too. The 50+ kills weren't real at all. They were ill-gotten goods. And he got made fun of on the big stage. How can you have any pride at all in these kind of wins? Guys like this would rather take the easy way out instead of grinding away and getting better like the rest of us. This glitch was first found in Fatal Fields and was reported to be able to be done in Salty Springs too. Epic looked into it and claimed it was all fixed. But till this day, there are still reports of underground kills just like this. Big map, big cheat. No, this isn't a scene from Saving Private Ryan or any other movie featuring pro snipers, but it certainly feels like something out of Hollywood. Because the only way this kind of ridiculous accuracy happens is on film. Thanks to Reddit user Emblem, we get a peek into some serious long-distance hacking. It's undeniably a cheat. Upon further investigation from another Reddit user named Bipolar Sandwich, this cheater had an average of 30.2 kills per game over 12 matches. Wow. And those kills only went up from there. Either this is the most naturally gifted gamer of all time, or this dude just got caught red-handed. I mean, the shots were coming from almost 200 meters away, which is already a giveaway. All this does is completely ruin the gameplay for everybody else, just so some terrible player can feel better about themselves. A kill-to-death ratio of 113-1 is the best we've ever seen. But how are we gonna pretend that any of that is respectable when we have video footage of the cheat? If this came during the brief sniper rifle only mode, then maybe we can consider giving props to the player getting incredibly lucky. But he didn't miss a single shot, over and over, and took out Milky TV's entire squad. Reddit users seem to believe that this is a new hack that'll be making the rounds more and more, so prepare for potentially dying by the hands of cheaters more often. Epic, you better get on this. This seems like it's right up your alley. Famous meets infamous. If you're a Fortnite fan who hasn't heard of Ninja, you've probably been hiding under a rock. This is the world-famous player who early in 2018 teamed up with Drake and other mega celebs and football players to play Battle Royale. Now that's officially superstar status. Anyways, Ninja and his best buddy Dr. Lupo were both streaming like any other day, and whoops, they were killed by a hacker. Talk about bad luck for this guy, because he couldn't have picked a worse pair to hack kill. Epic tries to grab every cheater they can, and there have been even reports of them hiring private investigators to track them down. But in this case, on one of the biggest stages possible, their failure was on full display. This hacker in a bunny brawler skin had a few suspicious things about them. They were using a scoped assault rifle for one, and they didn't miss a single shot at medium range. Once Ninja rewatched the kills, he noticed a few things. Every shot fired was a headshot, so that was 4 in a row against Ninja and 3 in a row against Dr. Lupo. They did the right thing, and they took down his name, and it seems like they reported him too. So Epic Games has definitely been alerted to the issue. Popular streamers like Ninja are exactly what catapulted Fortnite into extreme popularity it currently has. Without them, Fortnite would likely be just another middling game with a small but dedicated fan base. Epic talks a huge game about removing hackers, and we hope that they do, for Fortnite's sake. But until then, this kind of public shaming will have to do. That is, unless they start suing 14-year-olds again.
It's back to school time, which means some of us lose out on hours and hours of potential gaming time. For Fortnite players especially, this is the worst time of year. No worries though, because it turns out you could sneak some rounds of Fortnite in while you're at school. Before we begin, subscribe to The Gamer and don't forget to ring that bell to become a part of our notification squad where you'll be the first to know of new content. 8BITDO Zero Wireless Controller. Playing Fortnite on a tablet or smartphone quickly becomes obvious when your hands are all over the screen. With a device placed flat down, get away with playing Fortnite by using a wireless controller. Thankfully, the 8BITDO Zero Wireless Controller is the tiny controller ideal for such sneaky operations. Smaller than a keychain full of keys, the 8BITDO Zero is compatible with both Android and Apple devices. The controller has 2 trigger buttons, relies on Bluetooth technology, and can even be shoved into the side of your shoe or a chest pocket if the teacher comes strolling around. There are multiple colors available, allowing you to pick one which blends most with your school gear. May we suggest a darker blue to help match multiple types of denim? Gooseneck phone clip. Having an ideal angle is important for playing Fortnite and accessing your phone. Unfortunately, there'll be times when you need to go hands-free and actually do something in class. Whether you're hiding in a bush or camping, these moments are crucial to continuing your round of Fortnite Battle Royale. The best solution? Purchase a Gooseneck phone clip. A Gooseneck phone clip will fit most standard phones and attach right to the underside of a school desk. With the flexible gooseneck, you have the ability to adjust your screen and angle as needed. When you let go of the phone, it'll hang there and stay in a stable position until you complete the math problem and are ready to play again. Just remember, always keep your phone on silent. Laptop privacy screen. Playing Fortnite on a phone is great, but you can see more of the action and have better controls if you play a few rounds on a laptop or PC. Sick of the little snoops and tattletales ruining your Fortnite experience? Keep everyone else out of view with a removable privacy screen. Whether you have your own laptop or one from school, the privacy screen offers blocked views so only the person looking straight at the device can see exactly what's happening. Stream your account on Twitch if any of those nosy kids want to really watch you play. Laptop privacy screens are made for all screen sizes and are a great addition to your back-to-school shopping list. Secret phone book. In many classes, you may find everyone is forced to do some silent reading. You may even have a study hall or library time with an extended period to read. Well, a good 10 to 15 minute chunk is perfect for a round of Battle Royale. Instead of playing out in the open, use a classic method of concealing your phone. The secret phone book can be made with nearly any hardcover book. Simply cut out a phone-sized hole into the book and then pretend you're reading while playing Fortnite. Just remember to cut a horizontal hole so you can play the game in the proper direction. VUZIX Blade. While Google Glass never really took off, other companies are ready to get into the augmented reality market, and the VUZIX Blade is one of them. The prototype glasses have seen a lot of success in early stages, and one of the main benefits of them is the ability to live stream the screen of your phone straight through your glasses. Pair these glasses with a wireless controller, and you can leave your device hidden in your backpack. Nothing better than making eye contact with your teacher while you snipe some opponents in Loot Lake. Switch Pack. The Nintendo Switch may be portable, but it sure is hard to sneak the thing into school. With neon-colored Joy-Cons and bright cases with characters like Mario or Link, teachers could spot the gaming devices from all the way down the hall. Thankfully, there's a more conspicuous way to sneak your Switch into school, and Fortnite on the Switch is an awesome way to play. Enter the Switch Pack. The all-leather carrying case looks more like a fanny pack than a video game holder and will easily blend into the hundreds of other backpacks at your school. What's for lunch? If you truly want to play Fortnite at school, then try to have a giant breakfast each day and prepare to eat lunch as quickly as possible. Once you've downed the cafeteria mystery meat, pop up a vintage-style lunchbox to reveal your Fortnite playing device inside. Sure, it may look like you're neck deep in a pudding pack, but nothing else matters if you can claim the victory royale before recess starts. UNIHERTZ Jelly Pro. As phone screens get bigger and bigger, students only tend to get caught more and more using them for games like Fortnite. Well, to play some Fortnite at school, try not to think big. Think tiny instead. The UNIHERTZ Jelly Pro is an extremely small touchscreen smartphone with capabilities to run gaming apps like Fortnite. The touchscreen controls are extremely delicate, allowing you to still properly control your character while navigating the small screen. Playing may be more of a challenge, but it'll only make you a better Fortnite player in the long run. Seating location. Knowing what you're doing on the first day of school is crucial to having the ability to play Fortnite. Sure, you may want to sit with your friends, but seating location is key in getting some playtime in. As you choose your seat, look for areas towards the back of the room or where the teacher won't be able to see over your shoulder. Do this for every single class. Once you've established your best seating positions, you'll have the ability to play more often than you realize. Check out corners or areas where you're as close to the wall as possible. Windows 10 Task View. Playing Fortnite on a computer may offer the best experience, but is one of the trickiest moves to pull off. Large monitor screens are easily seen. Hopefully your school's computers operate using Windows 10, because the OS has a new Task View mode which makes playing Fortnite easier than ever. Once Task View is clicked, all of the open windows display on the screen and operate in real time. This means you can hide Fortnite in a corner and leave some fake documents or school research in the other windows. When trouble comes, simply click another window to load it full screen and you're good to go. With the new school year just weeks away, it's time to stock up on some much-needed school supplies. Whether it's going to be your first day in grade 3 or your first day at a top university, there's plenty of Fortnite swag you could bring that'll definitely make your friends jealous. Before we begin, hit that subscribe button to stay up to date with the gamer and ring that bell to become a part of our notification squad so you never miss a video. Fortnite Spiral Notebook. As much as we hate it, note-taking is a huge part of school. Most of us are thinking about going home and playing Fortnite instead of listening to what our teacher's lecturing us about. Now, you should definitely pay attention to what your teacher has to say, but if your mind's on Fortnite, why not get a Fortnite Spiral Notebook? With so many designs to choose from, there's no wrong choice in regard to what design you want on the cover of the notebook. Personally, we love the llama, but it's all up to you. Just don't stare at it too much and lose focus. Fortnite Phone Case. If you're in elementary school, you might not be allowed to carry your phone on you, which is a huge bummer. Luckily, if you're in high school or college, there's no problem keeping your phone in your pocket at all times. And it's a very important school supply. While you could take fall damage in Fortnite, wouldn't it be great to prevent your phone from taking fall damage with a slick Fortnite case? We certainly think so. While they don't offer complete protection, a slim case is better than nothing. Every time you take out your phone, people will know you get dubs daily with your amazing Fortnite case. Fortnite laptop case. Our laptop is probably the most important school supply of all. While there are some private elementary schools and high schools which give their students laptops for the year, they're usually used exclusively in college. Oftentimes, our work for the entire semester is on our laptop, so it's important to keep it protected from bumps and scrapes in our bag. We would be lost if something ever happened to it. Enter the Fortnite laptop case. These sleek little sleeves can help keep your laptop safe. Also, if you get one of the cases with a Victory Royale on it, those around you will instantly become jealous of your skills. Fortnite messenger bag. For the student on the go, a backpack simply won't cut it. It's just not designed to be able to hold a laptop properly. And it's annoying to have to swing it around every time you need something. They often stick to over-the-shoulder messenger bags. Now, of course, you could get any messenger bag you want for college, or you could get a Fortnite one. Just think about it. You'll be able to stick your Fortnite laptop case inside your Fortnite messenger bag. It's totally not overkill. Believe us, those looks are from people in awe of your amazing gear, not because you're a grown adult obsessed with Fortnite. Fortnite water bottle. It's always important to stay hydrated in school. Well, it's actually important to stay hydrated all of the time, but you get the picture. In most schools, you're usually allowed to keep a water bottle with you either on the floor next to you or on your desk. Since everyone can see it, why not showcase some personality and buy a Fortnite water bottle? The best thing about this water bottle is not just how cool it'll make you look, but how it's reusable and environmentally friendly. It not only shows that you're good at Fortnite, it shows that you care about the world you live in. Fortnite school bag. Now it's time to focus on all you elementary school students who make up a huge portion of the Fortnite community. Let's face it, the most important school supply for you guys is your school bag. It's where you hold everything you need for the day, and it's always around you. People often recognize you based on your school bag. So if you want to be that cool Fortnite guy, you want to get your hands on one of these beauties. If you really want to make a statement, you could get a hold of one of these backpacks with a crazy design that'll definitely set you apart from your friends. Fortnite lunch bag. When it's lunchtime, most of your friends like showing off what their mom packed for them. Whether it's some cheese strings and a peanut butter and jelly sandwich or some leftovers, everyone is judging what each other is having for lunch. It's sad, but you could take the eyes off your lunch and onto what holds your lunch with an awesome Fortnite lunch bag. These small tote bags are easier to hold than a typical lunch bag or lunch box, and you could showcase your love of Fortnite in the process. That's what we like to call a win-win situation. Fortnite pencil case. Your pencil case is on your desk at all times. It's what holds your pencils, pens, erasers, and so much more. Everyone has cool personalized pencil cases anyway, so it makes sense to join the club with your own Fortnite pencil case. There's plenty of different types of pencil cases to choose from, whether it's a zipper or flap case, and there's just as many different designs. We prefer the zipper case because it's smaller and more secure, but the choice is yours. We feel like everyone is going to be asking you for a pencil after seeing your gorgeous case. Fortnite pencil sharpener. One of the many school supplies you could carry in a pencil case is a pencil sharpener. After all, what's the use of pencils if they're not sharpened in the first place? These pencil sharpeners are usually very boring looking and simple, but you could change all of that with a Fortnite pencil sharpener. That's right. Instead of having to get up and walk to the back of the class and use that noisy pencil sharpener, you could just take a tiny one out of your pencil case and use it right away. Just remember to empty it out every day or else it won't work properly. Fortnite shirts. If your school doesn't have a uniform or dress code, then you need to beg your parents for these Fortnite shirts. You could put all your Minecraft shirts away now and get a whole new Fortnite wardrobe online. Whether you want to pretend to wear one of your favorite skins in real life, or just think the llama is adorable, these Fortnite shirts will definitely get you noticed. You might make a few new friends just by wearing the shirt, and your crush might even start talking to you if she notices you're the new cool kid in town. Hopefully she doesn't have cooties though. Epic Games is constantly changing and innovating the modes available in Fortnite Battle Royale. Recently, the introduction of Playground Mode has changed all of us from kill seekers to creative builders as we jump out of the battle bus, smash some llamas, and explore the world like never before. Before we begin, subscribe to The Gamer and don't forget to ring that bell to become a part of our notification squad where you'll be the first to know of new content. Without further ado, let's dive into the most insane playground builds we've seen in Fortnite. Crazy shopping cart bounce. The shopping carts are notorious in Fortnite Battle Royale. Players perform crazy stunts, team up with a partner for rides, and use them as a creative way to engage in battles. While the carts have come and gone numerous times in the game, they are fully available in Playground Mode, and it feels like Epic Games raided a Walmart. And of course, with the availability of the shopping carts comes the creation of shopping cart stunt courses. Building high ramps to jump off of is one thing, but Fortnite player and redditor the SHOPPPING took things to another level by combining shopping carts with some bounce pads. Setting up a stunt course over Loot Lake, the SHOPPPING strategically placed 7 different bounce pads in a straight line. Cruising down a ramp for speed, the player effortlessly flies through the air and hits the first bounce pad to set up an epic chain reaction jump. Each bounce comes extremely close to the edge, but the player continues to hit each bounce pad until he reaches a total of 7 before safely landing in the water. The digital bounce ride puts many water parks to shame and makes the Jackass movies pale in comparison. The key to pulling off a stunt like this is getting lucky enough to explore the Fortnite map and find enough bounce pads to recreate this great stunt. Filling up Loot Lake. There are many signature locations on the Fortnite map, and one of them is the massive body of water known as Loot Lake. Treading through Loot Lake is time-consuming and annoying, so a few players decided to take advantage of the playground mode to do something about it. After gathering thousands of materials, Fortnite player and Twitter user SaranaXO worked hard with a friend to completely cover up Loot Lake with wooden panels. The whole water mass was quickly covered as they rapidly built across the lake and didn't leave 1 inch of water exposed. Of course, in real life, a project like this would be a disaster for the environment. Not only would hundreds of trees need to be cut down to access all the wood, but covering up a natural water source would take away from the plant life, animal life, and the planet as a whole. So how did SaranaXO decide to celebrate her attack against Mother Nature? By dancing all over the newly covered lake. Again, if this was real life, there would probably be a paved parking lot and a new Walmart popping up anytime now. While most players use playground mode to build forts upward, these two built theirs outward and have a fun creation to brag about. DANTOM'S Flying Mansion. If there's a new mode in Fortnite Battle Royale, you know one of the first people to try it out will be DANTOM. The famous YouTube gamer has been playing Fortnite for months now and introduces us to all the new modes even before we get a chance to try them out. He decided to focus on building, and his work area of choice was the ever-popular Dusty Divot. He could have filled in the giant crater, but as an alternative, DANTOM decided to build up high in the sky and create the ultimate flying mansion. For the Star Wars fans out there, DANTOM was basically seeking out to create his very own Cloud City. He started out by creating a basic staircase, keeping it as small as possible so the structure on top would appear as if it was floating. Then came the more tedious part, gathering as many materials as possible. Once he had plenty to build with, he created the ultimate mansion in the sky. Not only does the mansion look like the coolest treehouse ever, but it's in prime position for some great sniper shots. If only the mansion could become an official part of the map. A crazy build battle. One of the biggest advantages of using the playground mode is the ability to go into the mode with a full squad. It can get a little lonely exploring the whole map alone, but an hour with just your friends really increases the fun and excitement. One way people have been using the mode is to create epic 1-on-1 or 2-on-2 battles within the world. The ability to respawn helps extend these battles and do a lot of best of series within the same map. Popular Twitch streamer and YouTuber Myth uploaded a video of him and NickA30 having an epic build battle. The rules were simple. Spend some time collecting materials and weapons, and then meet up face to face. At a specific count, a battle starts and each player tries to build as high as they can while trying to defeat the other player. The towers get tall and complicated as players build furiously up into the sky. Along with taking damage from gunshots, quick falls provide some extra damage if players aren't careful. There were so many rounds of epic fun, and Myth and NickA30 gave us some great ideas for the next time we play. The building battles are great ways to practice for being the final survivors in a game of solo. A giant battleground. You know you're an experienced Fortnite player if a majority of your battle takes place on built structures rather than any part of the official map. This is exactly the case for Fortnite player and YouTuber Salty. Salty took advantage of the playground mode to build an epic world where dozens of his friends could play on. Just kidding. The massive world was created for just a single one-on-one battle. One-on-one battles are extremely insane in Fortnite, and Salty showcases two different ways to do it with some insane building techniques thrown in. The first method is by going in guns blazing, shooting down walls just as they're put up and attacking your foe any chance you get. The next is to go stealthy by building fake walls, hiding behind walls, and making your way around levels as quietly as possible. Taking 20 minutes or so to build a massive fort and build a one-on-one battle is more intense than any type of paintball course you'll find in real life. With multiple rounds and some respawning, it feels pretty good to see the Victory Royale text pop up multiple times when winning, even if you just have a single person to kill. Watch Salty's huge battle to get some building tips and inspiration for the next time you enter the Fortnite playground. Goodbye Tilted Towers. In Fortnite, one of the signature areas on the large map is Tilted Towers. The towers feature numerous buildings, including a gas station, pawn shop, and some convenience stores. The location is popular for players to visit because of the gold chests, weapons, and combat options for opponents. Still, some people expect Tilted Towers to come toppling down in a future season, and some players took it upon themselves to take care of business in playground mode. Redditor VUZIX used playground mode and some great Fortnite tricks to create the ultimate domino effect implosion. After constructing everything in the right place, a single bullet from a hand cannon created a toppling effect which sent almost every single building in Tilted Towers crashing down. The video is incredible to watch as the whole town pretty much just disappears in a matter of seconds. The key to the destruction was taking out the base of the buildings and connecting a new wooden floor in its place, ensuring the floors were all connected before the hand cannon was used to create the domino effect. Tilted Towers destruction was pretty impressive, and we imagine it'll inspire players to think bigger and larger when it comes to destroying huge areas of the map in Fortnite. Oddly enough, VUZIX did forget to blow up the pawn shop, leaving it standing among all the rubble. Building the White House. We've seen some crazy replica creations in games like Minecraft and Roblox, but with the building tools in Fortnite, it was only a matter of time before wood, metal, and brick were used to create some replicas of real-life creations. A number of pyramids have been created by different Fortnite players, but YouTuber Gatu really stepped his game up by using the playground mode to build a replica of the White House. One of the most famous buildings in the whole world has now entered Fortnite, and the building is good enough to host any type of Battle Royale player. Building the White House may seem easy at first, until you realize just how much wood cultivating goes into creating the massive structure. Unfortunately, Fortnite doesn't allow you to paint the wood, so the finished product looks like one of those small popsicle stick models we'd make as kids. Still, the idea is there, and the execution is great. If the White House was a real part of the Fortnite map, you could just imagine how many players would try to stake claim as the president of Fortnite. Unfortunately for them, they would have to personally defend themselves against plenty of assassination attempts. For now though, it's time to try our hand at creating famous replicas in the playground mode. The challenge has been issued with the White House. Time to build on that with the Empire State Building or the Taj Mahal. Endless bouncing. The Fortnite playground mode is all about experimentation, and some players have chosen to experiment with the physics of the game. Many times, the Fortnite physics includes how high you can build a fort, but other players decide to include a little more science in the equation. One of these players is YouTuber VIKING. He decided to mix bounce pads and shopping carts into a crazy contraption known as a perpetuum mobile. The creation is a vertical standing octagonal structure. The inside of the structure is completely hollow with some windows and openings to escape on the flat sides if needed. The angled sides of the octagon include bounce pads placed parallel from each other. Using a shopping cart, VIKING launches himself into the octagon and then releases the cart. The rest is magic as he escapes and the shopping cart goes for an endless ride, bouncing back and forth against the bounce pads with no end in sight. It's great to look at and will leave you mesmerized the more you watch it. He was able to time the whole thing and get 2 shopping carts bouncing back and forth at the same time. The complicated build is probably just the beginning of what's to come. We imagine these structures getting larger, and who knows? We might be seeing more than 5 shopping carts fly through the air at an endless rate. Too bad the playground mode only lasts an hour, because it would make a great screensaver for your TV or computer. Crazy parkour. Unless you're hacking the game, there are only so many speeds you can go at while playing Fortnite. Sure, coasting on a shopping cart helps you go a little faster, but one of the quickest ways to travel from point A to point B is by setting up a system of bounce pads. In a game, your bounce pads only last so long, but in playground mode, you have a ton of extra time to set up the ideal distances and locations for the maximum speed while traveling around worlds. One of the best examples of this comes from Redditor IMNSB. He creates a bounce pad parkour that makes it look so easy and seamless. In a crazy world, he bounces from one spot to the next, hopping along and landing with ease. The moves are so quick due to his perfect timing. The destination is not a battle or hidden chest though. It's up high to see an odd message in the distance. By the end of the parkour run, he climbs up triumphantly and the words read, "Send nudes." All those skills just add a corny joke at the end. It's a damn shame. Covering up the whole map. Why focus on just one area when you can use playground mode to literally change Fortnite as we know it? Just look to YouTube gamer Vile Fret for some inspiration. Working with members of his squad, a lot of the map saw shade as the crew of players worked endlessly to build the largest platform standing tall over the whole world. Remember how Mr. Burns wanted to block the sun on The Simpsons? Well, this seems a lot worse. Building at a rapid pace, each player covered section after section with any materials they could. Going long into the hour of playground mode, it's pretty crazy to see just how much of the map they covered. The replay mode allowed us to see some incredible views of the large structure and how much work actually went into covering everything. If only you could save it and go back in. Alas, the rest is digital history, and eventually some squad will beat their record, covering even more space in playground mode. It would be really fun to take on 100 other players on the flat structure though, with only your harvesting tool to battle with.
Fortnite is free and available for every platform known to man. We're surprised you still can't play it on your toaster or smart fridge yet. Since it's now the cool kid in the gaming world, all platforms want a piece of Fortnite's pie, but some of them get a bigger piece than others. Before we begin, subscribe to The Gamer and ring that bell to join our notification squad so you never miss a video. Without further ado, here are some Fortnite differences between each system. Keybinds. When it comes to button mapping and keybinds, PC has all other players beat, because it's the only one with keybinds. Duh. Well, you could remap buttons on the PS4 and Xbox One, but it's quite a complicated procedure, so who has time for all that? On PC, it's as simple as going into your control settings and pressing the key you want to assign a certain action. These keybinds can turn you into Bob the Builder in no time. Your builds will be ultra fast and spot on. Ooh la la. All other consoles and mobile don't have the option to keybind through Fortnite's control settings, so they have to actually rely on getting used to the buttons. We recommend using Builder Pro on consoles because it's the closest you can get to keybinds when building. You'll still get outbuilded, if that even is a word, by a PC player though. Another advantage keybinds have over console and mobile players is that it allows you to instantly switch to a weapon in any slot with the press of a key. On consoles, you actually have to go through the effort of cycling through the weapons, meaning you can't instantly go from slot 1 to slot 4. You have to go through all the weapons in slot 2 and slot 3 to get there. It'll make a big difference in the grand scheme of things and getting you that victory royale. We're looking out for you. Graphics. When it comes to graphics, there's a big difference between most of the platforms you could play Fortnite on. Of course, PC players have the capability to fiddle with graphical settings, unlike consoles or mobile. It's called the PC Master Race for a reason, folks. PC players can set it to the highest settings, or if their PC isn't up to snuff, they could set it to medium or low. Xbox One and PS4 players are lucky enough to have a console power enough to show Fortnite in all its glory. Come on, the consoles are no gaming PCs by any means, but the quality is really good and gamers shouldn't complain about the graphics at all. It's when we get to the Nintendo Switch and mobile where you start to notice a big difference in the quality of the graphics. Don't worry, these platforms aren't so terrible the games display in 144p. They just lack the processing power of a PC, Xbox One, or PS4. The colors on the Nintendo Switch aren't as vibrant, and the game just looks a little bit off. It plays exactly like every other version of the game, it's just harder on the eyes. On mobile, Fortnite isn't nearly as sharp, and the textures are very blocky, but all things considered, the game looks good on all platforms. Controls. We got into keybinds a little bit earlier, remember that? But when it comes to controls, there's 3 ways to play Fortnite. Either you use a keyboard and mouse, a controller, or a touchscreen. Of course, there are some other options, but who wants to play using a DDR dance pad to play Fortnite? Anyway, when it comes to controls, nothing beats the iconic duo of keyboard and mouse. If you set your keybinds to your liking, the keyboard can do what you want quicker than a controller can, and when it comes to aiming, the mouse is key. You have so much more control with your entire hand on it, as opposed to a tiny little thumb on an analog stick. Unless you have a big thumb. Then it makes it even more awkward to aim on a controller. You freak thumbs. While the keyboard and mouse may seem like a PC exclusive, some players have found a way to use it with the console. But since it's kinda cheating, we're not gonna tell you how to do that here. Controllers are a good way to play Fortnite as well, but they just lack the polish of a keyboard and mouse. Unless you're Nick Mercs, that is. And don't get us started on using the touchscreen on your phone. It's definitely the most awkward way to play the game, but it's better than nothing. Frame rate. Frame rate is another category that differs tremendously based on the platform you play on. It also relies heavily on your internet connection. If you rely on a hamster running on a wheel to supply power to your potato of a modem, you'll experience a lot of lag and frame rate drops. You'll get really mad and throw something. If you have a decent to great internet connection, which is anything higher than 25 megabytes per second download speeds to 100, then you should be fine. When it comes to the platforms with the best frame rates, look no further than PC, Xbox One, and PS4. Like always, the PC is frame rate king, capable of running higher than 60 frames per second. Xbox One and PS4, on the other hand, are limited to 60 frames per second, but they have rather consistent frame rates. Sometimes we wish we could use our PCs to play Fortnite in the office. It's so much better than that lousy Xbox One. I mean, we never play video games in the office. Definitely not. The Nintendo Switch and mobile suffer from some terrible frame rate drops and ridiculous lag. Every single game, you'll get either a frame rate drop or a lag spike. None of these things are good, and they make the game much less enjoyable. They're the newest ports, though, so we're sure Epic Games is working on a fix. Screen size. An underestimated part of playing video games is the size of the screen you're playing on. As technology has gotten more and more sophisticated, screens have gotten larger and larger. 9 out of 10 Twitch streamers agree that screen size has a significant effect on your Fortnite experience. The larger the screen, the more to see, duh, and the more aware you are of your surroundings. Each pixel is bigger on a large screen, so you might even be able to notice things in the background easier. A screen is too big once you have to use your peripheral vision to look around, so don't use any of those new fancy curved Samsung TVs. Typically, PS4, Xbox One, and Nintendo Switch players have access to the largest screens, with TV screens as large as 88 inches currently on the market. Let's not start comparing sizes, guys. Now, we don't think it's a great idea to play on a screen that big because, first of all, an 88-inch TV is more expensive than a car, and second of all, it's a bit excessive as even a 50-inch screen is fine. PC players typically play on a 27 to 32-inch monitors, and mobile gamers could play on a 4 to 12-inch phones and tablets. While PCs have dominated everything so far, they can't play Fortnite on TV screens, so consoles finally get a well-deserved point. Exclusive items. When an incredibly successful game is released for so many platforms, you bet companies are going to have exclusive promotions to get players to buy their products. This is no different when it comes to Fortnite. We've already seen Sony, Twitch, and Samsung all try to bribe players towards them and their products through the game with their promise of awesome Fortnite items. But we have yet to see Xbox One and Nintendo Switch exclusives. It all started with 2 PlayStation Plus celebration packs from Sony. All you have to do is be subscribed to PS Plus, which you need to play most online PS4 games anyways. The first pack gives you the Blue Team Leader skin and the Blue Streak Glider, while the second pack gives you the Blue Strider skin and the Blue Shift back bling. At least something good happened to Fortnite PS4 players. There have also been the 2 Twitch Prime packs, which, you guessed it, are unlocked by having a Twitch Prime account, which you can get for free through Amazon Prime. Lastly, we have the Galaxy skin given to those who bought the Samsung Galaxy Note 9 or Galaxy Tab S4. If you actually bought either of these gadgets just to get an epic skin, you might have a Fortnite addiction. Player skill. When it comes to Fortnite player skill, no one beats PC players. For starters, they have the best equipment at their disposal in the form of keyboard and mouse. This gives them the potential to set keybinds and be deadly accurate with the mouse. Yeah, but keybinds don't matter if you don't know how to use them properly. Oh, give it a rest. The fact that PC players even have keybinds is a huge benefit, whether they're too much of a noob to use them properly or not. Listen up, PC players. Keyboard and mouse also allows for increased building speeds when compared to a console or mobile gamer. That's undeniable. When it comes to console player skill, Xbox One and PS4 players are on the same level. But how could we know since they never play each other? To settle this debate, let us know in the comment section below if Xbox One players or PS4 players are better. More pros are on the PS4, so we'll side with PlayStation on this one. What we do know for sure is that Nintendo Switch players are absolute scrubs. Their system doesn't play the game well as the Xbox One or PS4, and it shows. Don't even get us started on mobile players, though. Aim assist. Aim assist is something you don't really think about when playing a shooter game, but it's there. Essentially, it assists you in aiming, if you weren't able to put that together yourself. Most platforms you play Fortnite on have aim assist option, which can be turned on or off. Most PC players, especially pros, have aim assist turned off because that mouse is much more accurate than the right joystick of a controller. As we mentioned earlier, you could use your whole hand to aim instead of your thumb and yada yada yada. If you're a casual PC Fortnite player, you should turn aim assist off. Trust us, it'll turn you into a pro in no time. On consoles, we recommend the exact opposite. Since the right analog stick is less accurate, aim assist should remain turned on. This way, you'll actually be able to hit other players. Seriously, try playing one game with aim assist turned off. You'll notice a huge difference. Mobile players, on the other hand, have it easier than everyone else. Kinda. While it's still hard to move and aim, your gun shoots automatically once it's aimed at an enemy. Nothing like both aim and shoot assist. Nonetheless, aim assist is only useful depending on the platform you play on. Save the world. When we think of Fortnite, we're naturally drawn to the Battle Royale mode of the game. It's completely free to play and tons of fun. We get it. But believe it or not, there's actually another mode in the game. The PvE co-op sandbox survival mode known as Save the World. As of right now, Save the World is a paid-for early access title and has been since July 25th, 2017. Epic Games expects there to be a full free-to-play release of the game sometime in 2018, and with only 3 months of the year left, it's gonna be happening sometime soon. Unless there's a delay or something, which would suck massively. Now, you might expect this game mode to be currently available on all platforms, but it's not. Sure, you can play Save the World on PC, Xbox One, and PS4, but it's not available for Nintendo Switch and mobile. While it makes sense that it's not available for mobile gamers, seeing as phones don't have nearly the processing power of a PC, Xbox One, or PS4, we were surprised to see it's not available on Nintendo Switch. The Switch is already the worst console to play the game on, so the fact that it doesn't even have Save the World just makes matters worse. Crossplay. You bet we saved the best for last. With all these different platforms you could play Fortnite on, it makes sense for crossplay to be a thing. No matter what platform you play on, you can play with someone whether they're on PC, Xbox One, PS4, Nintendo Switch, or mobile. In the real world, Sony decided to ruin everything and said that their console was too good for cross-playing against players from other inferior consoles. Yeah, that's actually their reasoning. We like to think the PS4 is the best console out there, but this is just dumb. It's definitely not the ideal console to play Fortnite on, that's for sure. That honor goes to the Xbox One. So back to crossplay. The way it works is that PC, Xbox One, Nintendo Switch, and mobile players are free to play with each other. They could even all be in one party together. There's no stupid reasons holding them back from enjoying each other's company. PS4 players are limited to just PS4, PC, and mobile gamers. They can't play with Nintendo Switch or Xbox One players. Also, if a PC or mobile player is in a party with an Xbox One or Nintendo Switch player, the PS4 player can't join in. Innocent PS4 gamers are suffering from Sony's genius idea. Great job, Sony! There you have it. What platforms do you play Fortnite on? Are there any differences between platforms that we may have missed? Let us know in the comments section below, and don't forget to subscribe to The Gamer for more videos like this one. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to thank your bus driver.